Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. This morning, our goal is to get you ready for the 163rd Wisconsin State Fair presented by U.S. Cellular. It's happening July 31st through August 10th here at the State Fair Park. And our guest has been Kathleen O'Leary. She's the Director of Marketing and Communications. And we welcome you back to the show, Kathleen.
Thank you so much. I love being here.
And you did such a great job breaking things down for us during the first segment. And there's so much more to talk about. So a big part of the fair here is, of course, the agricultural judging and all the events that go along with it, the animals. And I think that a lot of parents are happy to show their kids some of the farm animals that they don't get to see every day. So we definitely want to pinpoint some key things with that.
And certainly we did touch on it with that whole rural meeting urban, urban meeting rural aspect of what we do provide here at the Wisconsin State Fair. Over the course of the 11 days, we'll have over 10,000 animals in our barns in the heart of Ag Village. And everything from, when you're speaking of horses, from the Clydesdales to the Percherons to the beautiful Belgiums. And these animals are absolutely gentle giants, and they're astounding. And then to put them into the Coliseum is just an amazing, it's from a spectator standpoint, you sit there in awe when you just watch, and you watch these small children with these enormous animals, which that in and of itself is a wonderment. So, and certainly our swine and our sheep and our goats and our cows and the Jersey cows and all of the different cattle breeds that we have.
Oh
my, exactly. No tigers or lions this year. We have kangaroos and wallabies, but we'll get there later. Oh yes.
Okay, so we do want to make sure parents know if they're bringing the kids to see something specific, they should check your website to make sure that particular animal is going to be here for the day that they're here, right?
Absolutely. If you wanted to make sure that you wanted to see the beautiful little bunnies in the poultry and rabbit palace, make sure that you just check that they're not in what we call a barn closure for that day. Over the course of the 11 days, the animals have to come in and go out. So there are particular days we try and do our best to have it done late in the afternoon and then overnight so that it's not a lot, but we still like to avoid disappointment at all times. What I also cannot stress enough is that when you're in Ag Village and when you're in any of the barns, please make sure that you wash your hands. That's not only for our children, but that's also for our adults. And we go to great measures to have hand washing stations at all points of exits, entrances, all throughout Ag Village. But always be very mindful to wash your hands after being in the barn area.
So those stations are there for a reason.
Absolutely.
So you're saying use them.
Use them.
And there are a lot of proud owners of those animals that are here as well. And they compete in many ways. Some of them competing for that blue ribbon that we hear a lot about, but we really don't know, like somebody like myself, I can't speak for everybody, of course, but I never really know what are these animals being judged on.
Oh, there's everything on their stature, on what they, in the case of like the hitch shows, how is the hitch controlled, how is it maneuvered? So there's all different elements based on what animal and what breed of livestock is being judged. But in addition to the blue ribbon that people do take a great deal of pride in, and it is really what they're vying for, it's a lot about what you might not know and what the viewers might not know, because certainly my urban upbringing didn't allow me to know it, is that it's a lot about scholarships. And especially, like, for instance, the Governor's Blue Ribbon livestock auction, which is on Wednesday night, those kids will take away thousands of dollars in scholarships that really are for their education so that they can continue into the agricultural industry. And there's a lot to be said for that. So incentives and scholarships are something in addition to the blue ribbon that they're really vying for.
Yeah, and it's like they're putting back into what makes the state everything that it is. So I like that.
Absolutely.
I want to talk about the entertainment because, I mean, you guys really went way over the top this year. And I was saying before the break, one of my favorites, and I think I speak for a lot of people, because this woman is like a 17-time Grammy winner. She was the first woman to even be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know how you did it, but thank you for bringing the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. She's going to be here on August 5th.
On August 5th.
How did you do it?
You know what? We are so happy to have her, and so so happy. Truly yet another, I mean, we talk about Wisconsin State Fair being a tradition and legendary. I mean, when you speak of, of legendary, you think of Aretha Franklin. So we cannot wait to have her here at Wisconsin State Fair. And all over the course of the 11 days, I mean, that's what, when you think of the Wisconsin State Fair, the genres are kind of replicating what we are, because we try and we are a little bit of everything to all people. And that's not an easy task, virtually impossible, but we go out of our way to try.
Yeah.
So it shows in the genres and the broad appeal of entertainment that we have at our main stage presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino that, you know, we start with Phil Vassar, and that's who we open with. And then we go into the Beatles tribute with Rain, you know, and then we'll do the Happy Together tour. Then we move into Mercy Me, so we have a nice Christian gospel route. And then we go through, and then certainly Aretha's in the mix. And then we have a little Summerland tour, so we get that Eve 6, and we get a good rock and roll in there, certainly.
Huge acts.
They're huge acts.
Really. And then for the kids, you have the Disney stars coming, and it's the McClane with China and McClane with Trevor Jackson. And I think Zendaya was supposed to be here, and these kids took that spot. And this is huge because the one little girl who has her own show with her sisters, she's done movies with Tyler Perry and all these things. So not only are the kids familiar with her, but so are many of the adults. So to see her in a whole different way outside of her acting, actually performing so much talent.
It's going to be a great show. And for the parents out there, you know, even if that's skewing a little young, which is fine, and that's what we try and do. I mean, we've had a number of great stars that cater to that audience. The Wisconsin State Fair is the safest and probably the greatest place to have your children enjoy a concert. I mean, I could say that I know where my first concert was, and it wasn't at a Wisconsin State Fair venue, but just to have them remember that, though, and remember that my first concert ever was at the Wisconsin State Fair. Again, back to what we do, which is create memories and traditions.
Yep, you can say that again. And then you did talk about the Summerland Tour 2014, which is amazing, but you also have Lady Antebellum, and that is, I can't even say how huge that is.
It's huge, and it will be our last Saturday, August 9th. It's the only show, it's the only concert in the state of Wisconsin that Lady Antebellum will be doing throughout the whole course of 2014. So very proud of that as well, and certainly we know the stardom, we know the star appeal, we know how wonderful they've been, Grammy Awards, everything, and we cannot wait to have them here. But the beauty is that they're so ridiculously excited to be here. That's what we're so thrilled about.
What about an evening with Alabama?
We're closing out the fair on August 10th. And here's the, you know, everything, what goes around comes around.
Full circle.
And here is our full circle of Alabama being such a mainstay and such a tradition at the Wisconsin State Fair for so many years. And then we had that window where they kind of did their thing and weren't really touring. And now here they are back at the Wisconsin State Fair to close out the 2014 Wisconsin State Fair. How great is that?
So I'm wondering, on a personal level, Kathleen, are you going to be working through the day and then here all night at these concerts?
Don't know that I'll be at the concert, but I'll be here all night.
Gotcha. So you have the Bank Mutual Amphitheater, which you've partnered with Bank Mutual for the largest free entertainment venue here at the fair. And that's something that people can appreciate. Some of the other acts that we've talked about, there is a small amount of money they pay to get into these concerts, but you've got the free stage, and then you've got 30 other free stages around the grounds with all kinds of entertainment.
It's what we pride ourselves on as well. I mean, for the price of admission, which hopefully you've taken advantage of the discounts or the discounts that happened prior to opening at the Wisconsin State Fair. So affordability is what we really profess, and we really want you to all be able to come and enjoy the Wisconsin State Fair. But the 30 free stages, Bank Mutual in particular is our primary ground stage. That is where the kids from Wisconsin will play. They will do 2 shows a day, so they're there every single day.
Okay.
Again, speaking of tradition, I mean, obviously the kids from Wisconsin have been performing for over 40 years. But Herman's, Peter Noon and Herman's will be on that stage. Vanilla Ice, the Mummies. Yes, I mean, we have
couldn't get that out of my head. Dum, 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 dum. Ice, baby.
There you
Our
go.
camera guys are like, what's wrong with her? But this is kind of like a fun atmosphere, and that's kind of what you do, right?
What
so
you do.
before we run out of time, we've got to talk about the food because there's a lot going on. I mean, it's no secret that you have everything under the sun on a stick, and I think you're starting to have everything under the sun with bacon too. But
there is a lot of bacon.
but let's talk about first the new foods that people can look for down here.
You know what? We have 70 new foods
Wow.
at the Wisconsin State Fair for 2014,
Amazing.
which is crazy, and that will fluctuate. It typically fluctuates on the higher end, so we're 70 right now. So by the time that we really actually get through, it'll be even more than that. Everything from deep fried maple syrup, bacon, cookie dough.
What?
Cookie dough
Oh my
to
gosh.
things that you wouldn't think about when you think about the Wisconsin State Fair, such as grilled prawns with pasta.
Wow.
We'll go all that way. We have Cajun dumplings. We have peanut butter bison burgers.
Somebody actually sits around and thinks of this stuff, and then they taste it, and it's like, that'll work. Let's take it to the
That'll
fair.
Actually, you know what we do is we challenge our vendors. Not only are we're pretty novel, and there's only at the fair is kind of what sometimes you think, oh my gosh, only at the fair.
Right.
But what we've challenged, this is our second year of challenging our vendors to compete in the Sporky's food competition.
Okay.
And what we've done is we said, come to us and bring us your most novel, most off-the-wall idea of food that you can imagine. So last year we had upwards of 40 submissions. This year we have 33 submissions.
Okay.
We've now narrowed it down to 8. And the winners of the Sporkies, obviously that too is a coveted, it's not a blue ribbon, but it's the coveted Sporky Award, will have showcase that item. For instance, in 2013, it was the Milla Frata Gelato. And what that is Granny Smith apple gelato.
Okay.
Dipped in caramel with nuts around it. So you think it's almost like a caramel apple, but it's gelato. So you're biting into.
That sounds really good, though.
It sounds very
That
good.
does,
So
yes.
they are doing the strawberry shortcake. So we don't know who the winner is yet.
So
That is
we'll
on our
find
website
out.
as
Yeah,
well.
I was going to say, we shall find out. Well, let's talk about some of the things on a stick. Bacon wrapped shrimp on a stick.
Prawns.
Bacon wrapped water chestnuts on a stick. Beer pretzels on a stick. Beer sorbet pops. Okay, this. Also, boneless chicken wings on a Robert stick. That's not too difficult to imagine, but I mean, it just goes on and on. I literally have 4 to 5 pages of stuff, but you put it on a stick so that people can walk around the fair and not worry about trying to eat and all that stuff. You just put it on a stick.
And again, I'll take you back to the tradition of the craziness of food on a stick. It stems from the fair industry, not Wisconsin State Fair. It's the fair industry with corn dogs and cotton candy.
Okay.
And that's how it all,
And those don't seem
that's
so
where the
off the wall.
story begins. And then now we can't just stay there. We have to go into this whole novelty. But yes, there are 100 foods on a stick.
Okay, so obviously we can't go through them all, but we do want to also remind people about Spin City. So as we wrap up, you've got new rides that are part of Spin City. So the traditional things are here, the big slide and things of that nature, but what can people look for that's new?
We have 56 rides that are, what we do at the Wisconsin State Fair, we have what we call an independent midway. And we virtually cherry pick the best rides from all over, not only the United States of America, but internationally as well, to bring in the greatest rides here at the Wisconsin State Fair. A nice balance of rides for more of the adult nature, tweens, I mean the bigger rides, but then we have a whole kiddie land that's a little bit separated, and all of the Spin City is on our north end of our fair park. Again, very clean. We work very hard to make sure that our Spin City amusement ride area is the best of the best. I highly suggest that you take advantage of the ticket situation, because the tickets can get you rides and or games. So you can buy ticket sheets of 44 tickets, buy them and then use the bargain book for the $8 off. And certainly there's a wristband, we call it the Go Ride wristband. So for $35, you can have the wristband and you can ride virtually all day. Our Spin City Amusement Ride and Game Area opens at 10 a.m. and then stays open until we close at 11 or 12 based on weekdays or weeknights.
Well, we could go on and on. So thank you so much for all the great information. It's going to be useful, that's for sure. Kathleen, it's been a pleasure. And Kathleen is, of course, our marketing director here at the Wisconsin State Park, Kathleen O'Leary, and we want to get everybody looking forward to the Wisconsin State Fair, which is presented by U.S. Cellular. It's again happening July 31st through August 10th. And of course, for more information on anything you've heard us discuss, you can log on to wistatefair.com. And that, of course, is going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. I hope you join us next week as we take another look at our issues, Milwaukee, and we'll see you at the fair. Bye-bye.